Welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Marcus. We've got a packed 5 minutes on the cannabis sector, policy wins, surprising retail strength, and what it means for investors heading into the week. My guest is Matt, who's been watching the space closely. Matt, great to have you.
Thanks for having me, Marcus. Great to be here. And quick note for listeners. Remember, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Perfect. Before we dive in, a housekeeping note. U.S. markets were closed on Sunday, March 8th. So when we talk about market positioning, we're talking about headlines that will influence trading when markets open on Monday, March 9th.
Exactly. Over the weekend, there were a few state-level developments that are worth tracking, and they matter because cannabis is still mostly state-driven. Small wins in the states can translate into clearer revenue paths for operators.
Okay, give me the highlights. What stood out?
So, three big threads. 1. Oregon did not advance a bill that would have capped individual edible doses at 10 milligrams of THC and forced single-piece wrapping. That would have been a big compliance hit for manufacturers. 2. New York kicked off the year with much stronger than expected retail sales, and regulators say at the current pace, New York could outsell California before the end of the decade. And 3. A handful of other states moved on medical access and revenue rules, like Colorado and West Virginia, and South Dakota preserved its medical oversight committee.
Wow, that New York line. Could that really reshape the market?
Yeah, that's a good point. If New York keeps growing this quickly, it changes the math for a lot of operators. New York is a huge population center with high per capita spend potential. More stores and faster sales mean better visibility for companies with footprints there, and it could redirect capital and M&A activity toward the East Coast. But execution matters. Licensing, taxes, and rollout speed will determine whether that projection holds. Regulators are optimistic now, but the market still needs to build out physical stores and logistics.
Right. And Oregon's outcome, that's a win for manufacturers and retailers?
Exactly. The bill would have limited product forms and added packaging costs. With it not advancing, operators avoid a near-term restriction that could have reduced SKUs and hurt margins. It also shows the industry can still influence state policy when it coordinates.
Interesting.
One more point on the policy front. Colorado passed a measure to let terminally ill patients use medical marijuana in hospitals, though advocates say the final language is weaker than intended. And West Virginia is moving money around. Its House passed a bill to allocate medical marijuana revenue, and some lawmakers want to channel some funds into psychedelic research. These are smaller moves, but they signal experimentation across states.
So for investors, what's the playbook here? How do you position around this noisy state-by-state patchwork?
Focus on cash flow and real retail traction. Lenders are doing that too. Reports say banks and lenders are prioritizing cash flow and collateral, not waiting for federal rescheduling. So favor operators with improving retail sales, disciplined cost control, and solid balance sheets. If New York is really ramping, companies with meaningful exposure there deserve a closer look.
And what about headline risk? The public health stories, new product innovations, that kind of thing.
Good question. Product stories can be a double-edged sword. For example, there were features about new premium formats, like a 2-gram rosin-loaded blunt, which, product innovation can drive margins. But you can also get public health op-eds about teen use or reproductive health questions, and those narratives can trigger targeted regulation. So it's a watch item. Also, keep an eye on which companies are getting financing and on what terms. If lenders keep leaning on cash flow, firms that are profitable at the retail level or close to it will have a funding advantage.
Stocks and ETFs. What names should listeners have on their radar when markets open Monday?
Think of liquid ways to express the sector. The Cannabis ETF that trades under MSOS, big multi-state operators like Tilray, Curaleaf, Green Thumb, and Trulieve. Those names tend to move with state-by-state headlines and retailer sales updates, so they'll likely react when markets reopen on Monday.
Any near-term events folks should watch this week?
Yes, track state legislative calendars in New York, Oregon, Colorado, and West Virginia. Watch New York retail sales releases and license rollouts closely. Those could materially change revenue expectations. Also, watch lender announcements and any major public health or product stories that gain traction.
Quick reactions. 1. This sector still lives and dies by state-level policy. 2. Cash flow is king for financing. 3. New York could be the surprise growth engine if execution holds. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, just one more thought. Stay selective. The broad takeaway from the weekend is bullish on near-term regulatory risk and demand in key states. But there's still dispersion among companies based on retail performance and balance sheet health.
Got it. Matt, thanks. That was really clear.
My pleasure.
Okay, final quick takeaways for listeners.
Number 1, state-level wins in places like Oregon and South Dakota reduce near-term regulatory risk. Number 2, New York's fast starts could reshape demand and deserves close attention. It may shift capital and M&A focus. Number 3, lenders are focused on cash flow, so favor operators with improving retail sales and margin discipline.
Those are 3 great actionable points. And remember, markets were closed on Sunday, March 8th, so we'll see how traders react on Monday, March 9th.
Exactly. If you want follow-ups or have specific names you want us to dig into, ask us at stockalpha.ai.
If you have questions about anything we discussed today, you can ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai. Thanks for listening.